Now to some breaking news tonight in the Middle East. The U.S. and its allies have launched a round of airstrikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen. But this now is raising fears about triggering a wider conflict in the Mideast. CBS 2's Dick Brennan here in studio with more details on this. Dick?
Well, Christine, this marks the first time the U.S. has fired on Yemen since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. The U.S. was joined by 5 allies, including the U.K., Netherlands, Australia, Canada, and Bahrain. It's what the Pentagon has wanted to avoid so as not to be drawn into a wider war.
Explosions were seen in Yemen as a U.S.-led coalition launched attacks against more than a dozen targets. The strikes were carried out by U.S. and U.K. fighter jets, along with missiles from ships and submarines, what the Pentagon calls a massive retaliatory assault.
These strikes were specifically targeting facilities that were known to have radars, missiles that have enabled the Houthis to conduct these strikes. So going forward, the intent here is to degrade and disrupt their ability to do this going ahead in the future.
Iranian-backed Houthis have carried out a persistent campaign against commercial ships, including drone and missile strikes, since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. There have been 27 attacks in the Red Sea since November, and on Tuesday, the U.S. Navy shot down 21 missiles and drones.
On November 19th, we started to see these Houthi attacks against commercial vessels transiting this waterway. Over 50 nations have been affected by this. And as you know, 10 to 15% of global trade transits through the Red Sea.
A week before tonight's assault, the U.S. issued what it called its final warning to the Houthis that if its attacks continued, they would face serious consequences. Now the U.S. is confronted with a complicated military and diplomatic landscape.
Just a few months ago, the United States was claiming this was a very stable part of the region. They were celebrating normalization agreements, hoping to get the Saudis and the Israelis to come together. And now it looks like we're on the precipice of a major escalation and possible regional war.
And just today, a Greek oil tanker that was on its way to Turkey was seized by Iran in the Gulf of Oman. Of course, what the U.S. really does not want is anything that would draw it into direct conflict with Iran. Christine.
Yeah, absolutely, Dick. Thank you.